Hey everyone, welcome back to whatever the name of the show is. Hopefully, I'll have a name by next week. But anyway, this is for TNA Impact on July 19th, which was my birthday. So yay! And TNA rewarded me by giving me a shitty TNA show. Actually, it wasn't completely bad. It was actually not bad. It was not bad. TNA's been kicking some ass lately, so. For those of you that don't know, real quick, Destination X, Austin Aries got over. TNA was building towards Bobby Roode versus James Storm, with James Storm finally winning the title. They called it off because Austin Aries was so over that they gave him the title. So they gave him a title shot, he won the title. Austin Aries is the TNA Heavyweight Champion. So basically, we start with a recap of last week where Hogan and Sting Hogan was attacked by Aces and Eights, and before that, you had Sting attacked by Aces and Eights. Or at some point, the two of them were attacked by Aces and Eights. I don't know. I didn't watch last week. But Aces and Eights is this weird angle going on where it doesn't really make any sense. By the way, Brooke Hogan, Hogan's daughter, was in the angle, and she's a terrible actress. Please, please, please don't let her on anymore, TNA. But anyway, it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense because with Sting, at least you could say, well, Jeff Jarrett has problems with Sting. You could reveal it to be Jeff Jarrett. It would make some amount of sense. But when you bring Hogan into it, I don't know. It doesn't really make much sense. They had some fake hospital pictures of nonsense like that. I don't know. It was dumb. At least I think they were fake. I mean, I can't imagine they would legitimately send their own guy to the hospital, but whatever. But we start with, of course, we're doing the Bound for Glory series. And I like this. It makes the title mean something. You got to get the most points to get the title shot at Bound for Glory. Now, James Storm is in first place. It's clear he was going to win. But now plans have changed. He's not going to win it anymore. He's still going to face Bobby Roode. That much is certain at Bound for Glory. Whether it's a number one contendership match, I'm not sure. But unless Bobby Roode wins the title back at Hardcore Justice, but I doubt it. It's open fight night, by the way, so you can call out anyone else in the tournament. How they determine who gets to call out somebody, I have no idea. Maybe it's by order of position. I'm not sure. So James Storm gives a pretty good promo. He basically says, you may not have the title anymore, Bobby Roode, but I'm not done with you. You and me got business to settle, and we're going to settle it. But for now, I got a tournament to concentrate on, and then I'm coming for you. And that the feud is personal, it's beyond the title. Great job, James. This is a great promo. And then he calls out Kurt Angle. Well, here we go. James Storm versus Kurt Angle could be a great match, and Kurt never shows. And his music keeps playing. Backstage, he's attacked by Aces and Eights. This is so stupid on so many levels. What problem do these guys have with Sting, Hogan, and Angle? It's going to be some dumb answer where they're just saying, well, we're just making an impact. That's going to be the explanation. It's not going to be anything interesting. So, then it cuts to commercial, and Samoa Joe is out. What? Wait a minute. If why can't James Storm call somebody else out? He just loses his match? So if the guy doesn't show up, that's it? You get nothing? By that logic, why doesn't somebody on the tournament just beat the shit out of everybody else so they can't have matches? Just get in first place, win one match, and then prevent everybody else from having a match. This is so dumb. Why can't James Storm just fight somebody else? They don't come back to this. We don't see James Storm again. Anyway, Samoa Joe is out next. He calls out the Pope. They have a terrible match. Samoa Joe wins with an armbar counter, gets 10 points. He moves into first place. Samoa Joe is going to win the tournament. I can predict that right now. It's going to be him against Austin Aries at Bound for Glory. My guess is Aries retains and goes on to fight James Storm. That's my prediction. Or, yeah, that's my prediction. That's what I'd like to see happen, too. And it's nice to see that they're rebuilding Samoa Joe. Then we have Jeff Hardy next. Why is this guy still employed? After all the shit he's done, fire the guy already. Come on. He's interrupted by Robbie E., who's in last place. He's got no chance of catching up at this point. Robbie T., basically the story of the match is, because they have a match, obviously, is, Robbie T keeps distracting Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy finally has enough. He randomly attacks Robbie T and gets counted out. Jeff Hardy's a fucking moron, and then Robbie E celebrates like it's the greatest win ever. So, yeah. By the way, he's still in last place. Or at least he is by the end of the show. We have some stupid thing about AJ Styles and Claire with Christopher Daniels talking to Claire. It was dumb. I'm not going to talk about it. Then we have the gut check contest. You see, there's something called suspension of disbelief in wrestling. I can believe that guys can create fire, I can buy that. What I can't buy is a show that basically admits that everything is scripted on a show that's trying to pretend that it's not scripted. This needs to end. This gut check is really bringing down the show. It's been terrible since they introduced it. And Sam Shaw basically gives some crappy promo. Nobody knows who he is. And all of a sudden, Aces and Eights show up and beat this guy up. Why? He's not even employed based on kayfabe. So let me get this straight. Aces and Eights are allowed to randomly attack random people who aren't even employed by the company, according to the storyline. That's assault. Where are the police? You can't do things like this because it just raises too many plot holes. It's like when they had Abyss torturing supposed fans. When you start doing that stuff, it gets beyond the point of being wrestling and just being silly and ridiculous. And it just makes you wonder. It just brings in questions of where are the police? How come these guys aren't banned from the building? What the hell is going on? Why are there no legal charges pressed, And I know it's scripted, but this bothers me. This legitimately bothers me. Fuck it, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Then we have Mr. Anderson. He calls out AJ Styles. 45 minutes in to the show, and we get this match. It was a good match, a fantastic match. 4 stars. This was nearly pay-per-view quality. Anderson wins with a quick pin. I mean, they were reversing each other's finishers and everything. It was amazing. Best match of the night. So Anderson wins with by pinfall. And then Claire comes out. And she has pictures of AJ sleeping with her in a hotel room. And they show these pictures. And by the way, you can tell that it's just some area backstage. It's not a fucking hotel room. I'm not talking about it anymore. It's dumb. It's the worst angle I've ever seen. It's ruining AJ. It's ruining it. It takes away from the great match we just had is totally forgotten. It brings the show down. This shit has to stop. Whatever, I'm done with it. We go to RVD next. He calls out Christopher Daniels. They have a good match. But they invite some guy from MMA on. And he's talking about MMA the whole fucking time. And it's like, shut the fuck up! It's professional wrestling. It's not MMA! So the announcers talk about almost nothing about the match. It's a good match, too! But it's ruined by this nonsense. Can we talk about wrestling on a wrestling show? Anyway, Daniels evades Rolling Thunder, covers Rob Van Dam for the rope with using the ropes for leverage. Referee never sees it. Then we got Austin Aries. He gives a promo responding to I think Bobby Roode earlier in the night basically said he was going to call out Austin Aries and that Austin Aries is a fluke champion. Good promo. So Austin Aries gives a promo about he's not a fluke winner. And I like this. He says, if anything, Bobby Roode is the fluke winner because he's the one that won the title off of Storm by using a beer bottle. I like that. It's a good promo. It turns the whole thing around onto Bobby Roode. Austin Aries is great on the mic. He's great in the ring. Just let the guy do what he's got to do. And then all of a sudden, there's aces and eights cards in the room, and it's like, oh god, you know right away where this is going. You know that Aries versus Roode rematch tonight is not going to happen. By the way, they already have a match scheduled at Hardcore Justice. Do you really think they're going to have one of them get a clean pin over the other? If you think that, you're an idiot. Then we have Magnus against Bully Ray. Bully Ray actually attacks him before the match starts, which totally backfires, and Magnus just brutalizes him. But then Bully Ray turns into Super Bully Ray and hits a cutter out of nowhere. He turned into Randy Orton, basically. But it was a good match. I actually liked it. To be fair, it wasn't a cutter out of nowhere. He stunned Magnus and then hit the cutter. Good match. I actually really liked it. I'm not sure why Bully Ray needed the win because he was in last place. Now he's got 7 points, and now he jumps from last place to second to last place. I guess Robbie E got 5 points for a count-out victory. So now we got Bobby Roode versus Austin Aries, and of course you're just waiting for the bullshit finish. It's a good match, actually. It's a great match. Fantastic. These guys are great. Bobby Roode's probably the best heel in all of wrestling right now. Austin Aries is probably the best face in all of wrestling right now. But guess who comes in and attacks Austin Aries? Aces and eights. These 5 or 6 or however many fucking guys there are in it attack him. Match is DQ'd. Aries wins by DQ. And at this point, Bobby Roode's like, oh yeah. Like he set the whole thing up. And then all of a sudden, Bobby Roode gets kicked in the balls. And they beat him up. Why are these guys in the fucking title picture? They don't even have character development. They don't have any personality. They're just a bunch of fucking assholes that go around beating random people up. This is so dumb. You had a good show ruined by the worst ending I could possibly think of. Why are you destroying the #1 contender and the world champion when they are both so hot? Are you stupid, TNA? You don't do that. Now guess what? They both look weak. You can't go anywhere with this because you have to have Austin Aries and Bobby Roode continue to feud. Will there be a tag team match next week? I doubt it. So what are they doing? So now both of them look like weak pieces of shit. But overall, the show was good. I'm going to try and make sure I go through these videos a little faster than I did in my previous ones. Hopefully I can keep them to below like 20 minutes. Maybe half hour, 35 minutes for the pay-per-views. But, yeah, I did not like the ending. I thought it was terrible. But most of the show was really good. The only thing I didn't like was, they got to drop the pregnancy angle. It's dumb. Oh, by the way, they showed AJ backstage like, I don't remember this. So you know where I think they're going with it? I seriously think they're going to say that she drugged him. You watch. TNA is going to say that Claire drugged AJ Styles. You watch. That's where they're going with it. I hope they just drop it, but that's where they're going with it. It just brings down everybody involved in the angle. It really does. But anyway, at Hardcore Justice, we will have Bobby Roode go with his rematch against Austin Aries. It's going to be a fantastic match. I can't wait for that. And overall, good show. Did a lot of advance the tournament. Looks like Samoa Joe's going to win. He's getting pushed. That's good. James Storm, they basically said, yeah, we're continuing James Storm versus Bobby Roode. It's going to be great. Hopefully they fight at Bound for Glory. So we got a lot of good stuff going on in this show, but, still a lot of shit, too. So, you know, some people have said, like, TNA is just so awesome right now, and it's good, but I don't think it's, like, amazing or anything like that. But I do think it's been kicking ass as far as TNA standards have been. So I think it's at least it's watchable, and that's more than I can say for WWE right now. So yeah, anyway, this has been a lot of fun. Hopefully I get to do this more. Yeah, let me know what you think. Maybe I'll try the desktop microphone next time. See if that's better. But yeah, let me know what you think. Take care. Oh, and help me think of a name, please, for the show. Unless you don't want me to continue it, in which case I won't, but whatever. Alright, take care.